afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the First Look seminar right here on First Bet. Our special guest today from My Racehorse is Joe Moran, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. You guys are doing phenomenal. I saw get Stormy win. Boy, you guys are doing great. Tell me about how's it going over there at the My Race Horse.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great summer on the West Coast, specifically in Del Mar. We had a nice first timer last weekend in Forbidden Kingdom. And also had a great day in general. Tiz Magician, was really, I call him kind of our breakout horse in the early stages 2 years ago, and just to see him develop and put up a performance like that and never quit, even when Triple E passed him in the Pacific Classic, was pretty awesome. And he just took our shareholders and owners on a complete journey that, that's kind of why My Racehorse was created. So that was phenomenal. And we had another first timer that ran a gallant second on debut. So just an exciting meet in general. We've had a few big wins and some exciting things with some young horses just starting their career.
Chappie, I know that you're around My Racehorse a lot, and the people who are part of My Racehorse. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, it's great. Even one of the members of the trio of the Morning Line Sports Show, our man Bandstand Hal, is in on going to Vegas now, and Joe and I, especially Joe, but take care of a lot of the people out here at Santa Anita when they come out, the My Racehorse people. And, it's so much excitement and all these newcomers or a lot of people that just getting into the game. And it's just been so much fun. And we're actually creating a larger area right now that Joe is aware of. So when they come back to Santa Anita, I know Del Mar has the new My Racehorse Lounge, and we're basically creating something along those lines here. So it's going to be a great fall, and looking forward to things to come. And Joe, real quick, tell us about Edge Racing as well.
Yeah, Edge is more of your traditional syndicate that we started. It's powered by My Racehorse, so it's completely in-house for My Racehorse, our whole staff and everything like that. So it's a great way for people that are looking maybe to take that next level, or maybe just get a bigger stake of ownership. We're offering it in-house where it's been fun. We're off to, knock on wood, a good start, 8 for 11. I try to tell all of our partners, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're going to hit a cold streak. But we're enjoying it right now while it's lasting.
8 for 11, Georgie.
Wow, that's phenomenal. It seems like it's a feeder, or it's like the NCAA. You start at My Racehorse, and then you move on up to the big leagues. Right. Ed. So pretty cool there. How does it, tell me, like I'm a 3-year-old, how does it work, My Racehorse? You pay a simple amount or a one-time fee, and you get a percentage. Tell us exactly more or less how it works.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best way to look at it is whatever that price lists on the website, that's your all-in cost. So you'll never have another out-of-pocket cost. Our percentages vary horse to horse. So, if a share is up for $30, you're likely getting, the smallest percentage we offer. So we offer shares. We've had shares between 1/110th of 1%, 1/100th, 5/100th. So it all varies horse to horse. And really just what we paid for the horse is how we kind of break that down. But a great example, Tiz Magician, I believe it was $320 to get on him for 1/10 of a percent. For the Pacific Classic running second, all of our owners got back, I believe, just over $100. And, throughout his whole career, they've had, some very solid payouts over the years. So they're in the green there. And it's been fun. And, even we had to ship him to Dubai last year. The race got canceled. So he unfortunately didn't get to run. And as an owner with My Racehorse, you didn't have to worry about all those expenses. We took that hit, on front. And now obviously when the horse got back and started earning those dollars back, they went for those costs that we put up first. But then once he got back in the clear of what we call that training account or reserve account, then the shareholders will just get paid out based off race by race. And it makes it very simple. And exactly what you're putting in is going to be your all-in expenses.
There was a racehorse at Ellis Park that was running on the freeway. Is that a My Racehorse?
No, I couldn't believe when I saw that. That was pretty
impressive.
I bet on that horse too. I thought it was Lone Speed, but it got passed by a 1989 Subaru. So I guess I was wrong.
All right. Before we get started, I do want to mention that there was an announcement. First Technology unveiled a new WagerPad Pro betting interface on his signature product, First Bet. So that's that's good news, I think. And just to quote them, it helps customers make faster, easier, and more informed bets on horse racing, combining betting and handicapping features with the speed and simplicity of a single page wager. So now you can bet, handicap, and watch the races without opening multiple screens. So always trying to advance, always trying to do what's better for the bettors. So First Bet certainly got some great promotions going on. I think there's a $10 free bet for betting on Golden Gate today. Definitely you want to go with First Bet right here to my whatever it is right here. First Bet, first.com/bet and bet away. All right, Chappie, what else is going on here?
It's a big weekend.
Saratoga, right? Travers.
Yeah, it's funny. We're going to kind of stick to the local wagering today, but obviously tomorrow's Travers card is a massive card. I don't know how much you got to look at it, Joe, but quite a bit of the attention is going to be there. I think we're kind of sticking locally here with our handicapping seminar, but good luck to all those tomorrow with the Travers, and I think there's I believe 5 stakes races tomorrow at Saratoga, Joe?
Yep, I believe 5.
Is Essential Quality a single, Joe? Have you looked at that? Is he a lock or what?
I haven't dug down too deep, but I'll say, a horse that has done as well as he has, I would think he's going to be the horse to beat, and I think he's the deserving favorite in that race, definitely.
All right, so if I want to get involved in my racehorse, I'm going to need a little bit of money. Can you help me make some money today, Joe?
Well, I always think before the races I can. After will be the determining factor.
All right, my favorite bet is the pick 5. I think it's Chappie's favorite bet as well. So why don't we start with the pick 5 today, starting off in race number 4. Joe, get into race number 4. Tell me who you like. What do we need to get out of the first leg of the pick 5 today at Del Mar?
Wow. Well, what you need to get out, that could be a little different. I'm going to take a stand. I really like a horse towards the inside of Keith DeSormo, Oviatt Class. Debuted going a mile on the turf, had a really rough trip that day, cut back in distance on the dirt, and I thought ran a really well third, right behind 2 Bafferts, one horse that comes back in this race. And ultimately, I think this horse is going to get a good trip, appreciate getting that distance, and I think he's going to be maybe, if not the most fit, to go the mile on today's distance. I know Flying Drummer, who's Baffert's, likely going to get a lot of attention in this race, deservingly so. Gun runners have been phenomenal from the early stages. But in that race, he was definitely the number 2 of the 2 Bafferts. So I'm hoping maybe we can get a little price and maybe beat the big favorite in that race.
Oviatt Class, Chappie, Kent DeSormo continues to amaze me at how well he's riding lately.
Yeah, he had another big win yesterday, and he just continued. He turned back the clock, and he looks like the Kent of old, and it's nice to see that because he's just so talented, and when he's on his game, he's as good as anybody out here, and he's back. So I like to see him, obviously the DeSormo brothers teaming up again once again. This race is tough to me going a mile. Obviously, like Joe said, Flying Drummer is going to take all the attention. 9-5 morning line, I think you're going to be odds on in there, but there's a few of them I thought were interesting. Oviatt Class is one of them, like Joe said. I thought Astronomer, the 3-horse, was maybe a little green in debut, and we know that Simon Callahan is very good with second-time starters. And then a couple of them on the outside, I thought even Barossa for Baffert stretching out kind of ran evenly, so maybe it was 2 turns looking all along for that horse and 12-1 in the morning line. And same goes for the outside horse, Derrico Dandy, who was a 5-2 on the morning line, and kind of broke okay and just kind of chased the pace. But I like the fact that Rispoli stays again. So obviously, I don't have a strong opinion here, George, because I just gave you about 5 of the 9 horses.
Well, the one thing I'll say to jump in real quick, I think you brought a good point of Astronomer. That horse took some money in debut. Is a half to Harvest Moon, who Simon Callahan also trains, and Mr. Impossible, who both had their success on the dirt. So I think that horse getting to the dirt and getting 2 turns, I think is going to be a big play at 8-1.
I think that you got to use the 2 and the 4. They certainly look capable, but I'm going to be playing to win, and a lot of my bets are going to be revolve around horse that Chappie mentioned, I really like number 7, Barossa. I think Barossa is screaming out for 2 turns. They obviously, you guys get racehorses all the time. They paid $775,000 for this one, so the hopes were high. Into Mischief, just a great sire. It's turning out to be one of the top sires in the country, if not the top sire in the country. And I'm telling you what, this horse here took some action, didn't really deliver on some of the workouts in the morning, but I think stretching him out is going to be the trick. And how many times we see it? I think we saw it yesterday. You got 2 trainers with the same horse, 2 trainers in a race. The longest shot of the 2 wins. I think that happened yesterday. So, I'm leaning towards taking a shot, especially at a great price on Barossa, who I think has got every right to improve second time out. And, of course, Bob Baffert's great with second time out runners, especially his young 2-year-olds. I really think Barossa is the one to play. Not necessarily the most likely winner, but definitely the best, to wager on at that price.
Yeah, that happened yesterday with Steve Knapp. But
Steve Knapp, exactly, right.
You are correct, and especially for whatever reason over the years, it seems to happen to Baffert, maybe just because he has more times with 2 people and 2 runners in there, but it seems to happen with Baffert quite often in the years past, doesn't it, Joe?
Yeah,
go ahead, Georgie.
I heard Baffert on the radio one day. He had 2 horses in the same race. One was one of the favorites, one was a long shot. And on the radio, he said, my favorite's going to win. And then the long shot won. So, I mean, they don't even know sometimes. But a lot of times you see it, right, Joe? It's the longest shot of the 2 win.
Yep, you see him, and like Chappie said, it seems to happen to Baffert quite some time. So to get 12-1 on that horse, and I imagine he's not going to get a ton of attention in that race with the other runner. I think you might get a very square price to take a shot, and to get JJ Hernandez at that price, he's riding great as well.
I'm sure the way you and all 3 of us just talk now, Flying Drummer's going to run off the screen.
That happens more often than any of the other scenarios.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the stakes race today, the Tranquility Lake. It's race number 6, goes off around 6 o'clock. They're going a mile, and it's six of them pretty competitive. I thought this was a difficult race, Chappie.
Yeah, I believe, and I got to confirm this, but unfortunately, I think Miss Stormy D and Nasty are scratched.
Oh, my.
Yep,
so is that for sure, Joe?
That is for sure. That is confirmed.
Yeah, so
that's nasty.
Yeah, it is nasty. So it turns into a small field. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Obviously, the class is with the 1 Page Ann and probably needed the last race. I think I'm going to try Miss Bigley. Harper's Gallop's going to send, and I think the 1's going to send, and Miss Bigley's going to sit just off the pace. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. This horse was 8-5 on the morning line before the scratches.
Yeah.
But also our man Phil D'Amato, who got off to a very slow start, is heating up rapidly now towards the end of the meet. And in small field, but I think Miss Bigley's going to get the best of them here. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, and I got to say we have a little bias. We're going to be rooting for my racehorse. We have the half-sister to her, so we're hoping to get another stakes win for the dam there. So that would be solid. The only thing I could say is maybe coming off the layoff, if you tried to beat it, looking towards the inside at Page Ann, second off the layoff. Can she improve with the class? Besides that, I think it's a 2-horse race. Miss Bigley seems to come into the work, according to Aaron Harrington, working very well. She's never ran over the Del Mar main track, but since she really made that transition to the main track in general, really became a new horse. So in my opinion, she's the one to beat, and I'll look to the 1 if I wanted to get a little bit of price, but I think you can be pretty simple here.
I didn't like the 1 at all, even before the scratches. And I don't really like 2 horses, Miss Stormy D and Miss Bigley. So since we're going to miss one of the misses, I'm going to be singling Miss Bigley.
There's your single, Georgie.
There's my single right there, Miss Bigley. Hopefully, how about the prices on the pick 5s yesterday?
Oh,
sick amounts of money. And TripNotePros.com liked the winner of the last race, who was 30-1, and they posted that, and I saw that. So another, that's another. I mean, we talk about great tools to have, and TripNotePros.com It was he won by a nose. I mean, it was like 4 horses there at the wire, but you get the 30 to 1 shot that comes back like 170,000 for the pick 5.
George, I obviously we use Trip No Pros quite a bit, and it makes me go back and look at the replays, and yesterday almost we give the almost, and it paid 130,000. I hit 4 of 5. I only missed.
Man.
I missed the Brian Coroner horse in the second to last leg, and in the last leg I was only 3 deep. I had the 3, 4, 7, and I used the 7 strictly because of the Trip No Pros. The horse won at 30 to 1. Of course, I wasn't home, so I had it recorded because otherwise I would have bet that horse as well. So I lost all the way around, but it was exciting, almost.
Almost.
All right, let's go to race number 7. 5 furlongs on the turf. Such a total different game from 6 furlongs on the turf or 6.5 on the turf. It's a massive difference. The Santa Anita turf runners, sprinters, and these 5 furlong races. I mean, they're really like day and night. A lot of the 9 and the 10, I think, are scratched. I don't know if there's any more scratches, but how did you see this race, Joe?
Well, these races have been tricky all meet. I will say, just from the way the meet's been, you got to have speed in these 5 furlong turf races, and it seems like that is just such an advantage. Ideally, I really think the 1's going to run a big race, but I'm worried with that rail post position where that horse is going to put himself in Gregory's Pride for Phil D'Amato. On paper, I like the horse. I think he's primed for a big effort, but by no means do I think he's a single in here. I do think being a little bit logical, Aurelian Man has to be looked at, coming off a good effort over the track. But to throw a little bit of a curveball in here and look at a long shot, I'm going to look to the far outside of Mariner's Way for Cliff's Eyes. Just a little bit of me paying some attention. Liam's Map, they'll surprise you going to the turf for the first time. And this short horse showed a little bit of speed, not a ton of speed, but I'm thinking second time out, this horse will be a little more cranked and ready to go. And if he can break sharp from that outside post, Giovanni Franco can hit at a price. I'm going to take a little shot on the outside there. And you got Bertrando on the bottom half, so the 5 furlongs on the turf should be no issue.
Chappie.
All right, I'm going to, I agree with Joe on the 1. I'm not sure what to do there. The horse should fire a big shot. I'm going to take a shot here with the 4 Go On for Doug O'Neill. The barn was high on this horse, broke from the rail first time out. The second time out, got caught a little bit wide all the way around. They gave it a little bit of a break. The horse is working very well, worked heads up with the Great One the other day that I watched the work, and you couldn't separate those two. And I believe the Great One is running against Medina Spirit and Rock Your World on Sunday in the Shared Belief. And I think going with to the turf here, first time Lasix, I think this horse is going to be up close to the pace, just like Joe said you need to have on this turf course. I think I'm going to take a shot with Go On. A horse to watch down the line that I watched the workout on that is very fast is Encroachment, the 9, who's scratched out of here, the Uncle Mo. If you get to go to XBTV, watch the workout on that horse. That horse is very fast and missed the break last time out. Looks like it has turf action, but made up like that in a second and still ran. I can't remember which work it was. The August 7th. I know it's scratched. One of the works. But if you go back and watch that, just keep that horse on your horses to watch list. Horse got some talent. Encroachment.
The another invaluable tool in handicapping. Go to XBTV and that free ability to see all the workouts pretty much in Southern California is just phenomenal. What kind of a price tag can you put on that? Like you said, Encroachment. Did you get a chance to see any of Tiz the Tails workouts or not? Because I thought the August 4th workout was pretty cool. And they did pay $375,000 for him. Did you get to see that run at all or no?
It's funny. I did not, and I don't know why, because I looked at every other horse in this race. And maybe it wasn't on there. Occasionally they will not be on the work tab, but I will go back and look at that for sure.
That's that shot. My thoughts in this race are, and again, we didn't get together before the race or anything like that. I love number 4, Go On. I just love him. I've through my years of handicapping, and everybody, you guys you've been handicapping for years. the 2-year-old numbers that you get, especially in Thorograph numbers, usually when a runner gets to 3, they improve substantially. It's a big improvement. So Go On, his last race, he ran a 9, which is better than anybody has run here. And a lot of these have already run as 3-year-olds. I'm expecting his number to improve as every 2-year-old's number improves, like 90% of the time. You add Lasix, you add the turf, and I think Nyquist, they love the turf. Well meant from the beginning. He was 5-2, 2-1, taking a lot of action. Redham could certainly, he gets in the winner's circle a lot with his youngsters. I think as a 3-year-old coming back, first time Lasix on the grass, having the best Thorograph number as a 2-year-old, I love Go On and win this race, Chappie.
Well, I hope you're right, George, because I'm going to single that horse and take a shot here. So hope you're on your A game today. By the way, we have viewers from all over the place. We actually have a couple viewers right now watching from Germany, and I'm not joking you. So if either of you know any German, throw something out there, George, because, nothing.
Each I'm Berliner. I don't know.
That's better than what I would have put up.
Ich bin ein Berliner, wasn't that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I know. Gesundheit.
Hello. That's hello.
Yeah. Schadenfreude, because I do that all the time. A lot of Schadenfreude every now and then, but I'm sure I get my share of Schadenfreude as well. All right, that's enough for we're running out of time. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday, always a really nice card. Always some exciting races on Saturday. And let's kick it off with let's start with race number 5. How about that? Race number 5. You got the anchor leg of the pick 5, the early pick 5, and I thought the 5th race, Chappie, was incredibly difficult. I don't know how you can pick a winner in this race. This is such a spread race for me, Chappie. How did you narrow it down?
I'm having trouble with this because I watched many of the replays. Of course, the rail horse Sadler off the long layoff showed a lot of talent. That was back last year, so I think that horse is interesting. And Pratt's out of town, so Umberto jumps on. I kind of think that's the horse to beat. I wasn't that impressed with either of the D'Amato replays. But then if you go back to when Leisure Wear ran, that's when D'Amato wasn't winning anything. So maybe that horse is going to improve second time out. I'm kind of leaning towards Beautiful Temple. If you take the route race out, 2 back when this horse went 6 furlongs, horse ran second to Burgoo Alley, who's very talented. And with our man DeSormo having the rebirth, I think this horse might run big, and I don't even have the morning line here. I printed these PPs out before that, but so I'm leaning toward Beautiful. What's that?
7-2 on Beautiful Temple.
What's the rail, Little Liliana?
4-1.
Okay, so one of those two at this point right now. But George, I'm interested to see what you guys have to say because I couldn't make your heads or tails with many of these replays.
Yeah, if I'll jump in, I was struggling with this race as well. I happened to come on Beautiful Tempo as well. I played this horse pretty well last time. I thought she was going to be lone speed, stretching out. In my mind, went a little too fast too early last time. But as you said, comes out of a really strong race, 2 back with Burgoo Alley, who came back and won end of July for Phil D'Amato. And today, like I said, we just talked about 5 furlong turf races. You got to have tactical speed in there. And as you mentioned, the Phil D'Amatos on the turf always catch your eye. I will give Leisure Wear one more shot coming out of that race. First time in America, so you'll always give those horses one more nod. But outside of those, if those two don't win, I think it's a wide open race. The 2 inside John Sadler runners, I've given Kalana a few tries. I just can't do it anymore. And I just don't think the 5 furlong suits that horse. So you never know with a first-time starter like Mike McCarthy, a street boss, bred for the turf, can run on the turf. Not one to generally hit first time out, but better first time on turf than first time on dirt. So worth noting.
And what's interesting? The only thing interesting about Cami Kate is now was destroyed in the work, but they actually worked that horse with CC, who's in the. Is that in the big race today at Charlestown? CC.
I think so. Yeah, today's a big day.
The Charlestown Classic, I believe, is in a couple hours.
Yeah, 800.
I'll check that out.
see.
I
Race 7 at Saratoga today in the big Philly race.
Oh, okay.
Personal and sign, I believe.
Ursula Ensign?
Yep.
Personal Ensign. All right.
Got it.
That horse was undefeated, right? Personal Ensign never lost. Did Personal Ensign ever lose? I don't think so.
That was before my time, unfortunately.
That's why he said Ursula Ensign.
Yeah, I know.
I thought this race was impossible. Little Leanna is coming, from a 2-year-old to 3-year-old, getting first-time Lasix. Ran a great race first time out. Cologne now gets a jockey switch to Florent Giroux. I think that's going to help, and he had some problems in that last race, that zero tolerance race that Leisure Wear came out of. So, he was kind of right there. And I thought he was going to be a lot closer. I think Cologne is probably going to be my top pick in the race. But Tony Ann can win. Leisure Town, Beautiful Temple, of course, can win. Even Chantal, you're talking about the leading trainer who's working pretty good. So just a really difficult race, great race. If you're alive to this race, hopefully you'll have plenty of horses.
The all button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Rainbow Pick 6 starts in race number 6, and it's a race where it's a short field, but Joe, it's a quality field, a really hard knocking claimers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're talking here race 6.
Yeah.
I love a horse here. I think it's, like you said, an extremely quality field, but I'm going to look to the Mark Glatt runner if I got no money. And this horse's performance last time I thought was ultra impressive. I believe if the time still stands, it's the fastest 5.5 furlong race of the meet. And he's just got this horse ultra sharp. And I think he's primed and ready for another big performance. You could make a case for a lot of these. Fashionably Fast has been a hard knocker for years now. And I've been a big fan of that horse. Could you make the argument maybe he's just lost a step in his 6-year-old season? I can make that step, and I'm kind of looking for a new face here. And ultimately, I'm going to land just I got no money. I think you'll get a fair price today, just of being as competitive as it is. And also the other horse, I don't think you can leave out Colt Fiction. I know kind of an even race last time, but a horse that's proven to love this track, and a horse that kind of just shows up and runs almost every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the 3, Chappie, the 3, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you have to look any further than those 3. Yeah, for my own sentimental reasons, I guess I'm rooting for Fashionably Fast. We always have those horses that we follow or bet on or root for, and George and I, we've talked many times. We're big fans of Dean Pedersen, and he's kind of an underrated trainer, kind of under the radar. Absolutely. And that horse has ran into some monsters. I mean, how good has How Be It gotten?
Wow!
Last time out, 2-back lost to Brickyard Ride, Axeman 4-back. Brickyard Ride again, Collusion, Illusion, McKinsey. I mean, you just go up and down the line. It's now or never. If this horse doesn't win today, then maybe the 7-year-old or 6-year-old campaign's caught up a tad to a very talented horse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards I got money. He's got the best numbers. He's certainly the sharp up-and-comer. Mark Glatt winning at 20%. Yeah. I mean, he is on fire, and he's always been, one of our favorites. We've bet a lot on Mark Glatt over the years, but he is certainly clicking on all cylinders right now. But certainly, I'll be rooting for Fashionably Fast and see if Dean Pedersen can get his first victory. All right, let's go to all the way to race number 10. How about that? Race number 10 is the Pat O'Brien, and they're going 7 furlongs, a tricky distance, and you just mentioned How Be It is in this race. A rejuvenated Ginobili, a couple of Bob Baffords, CZ Rocket, who we all know is just a incredible champion. Really tough race here, Chappie. Who do you like here in this tough grade 2?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting race. Last time I was in Vegas, I don't know if I just had a feeling or not, but I loved Ginobili out of nowhere and fired on Ginobili. Now, drawing the rail, this almost looks like a bounce candidate there. I don't know what to make of 8 Rings, by the way, who barely lost to Dr. Scheibel. threw a shoe in that race, so that's a little bit of an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, Brickyard Ride, you always think like, oh, there's so much speed. Sometimes 7 furlongs is even better for a speed horse because the pace isn't quite so fast. All that said, I'm leaning towards a couple. And CZ Rocket, if you go back and watch the race last time, maybe CZ Rocket just needed that race. CZ Rocket at like the 3/8 pole looked completely done.
Yeah.
And then I thought the horse was going to run last and then flew home and barely got beat. That being said, I think I'm going to go towards a couple of horses in here. Flagstaff, who is seen to have drawn the inside quite a few times lately, has hit the board 4 out of 5 times at Del Mar, and I think should get a great setup from just off the pace. And I'm interested in Momosa at a price. I think this horse is razor sharp right now, and I love the cutback from 2 turns to go in 7 furlongs. I think it should hit this horse right between the eyes, and I think at a price, that's an interesting horse to me. You can go several different ways, but those are kind of a couple of horses I'm leaning towards right now. Jojo?
Yeah, I think you brought some good points. I think this is a wide open race, and you can go 10 different ways. I didn't like this horse at all last time, but he really impressed me in 8 Rings, as you mentioned. And I think you're going to see another improved performance. Also, just to go on why I like the horse as well, is kind of what you mentioned with Brickyard Ride about that 7/8 kind of helping a speed horse. And you kind of look down to that San Carlos race when Brickyard Ride actually went 7/8. I don't think anyone thought that horse would be able to get it. The one thing I'll note, you look at his record at Del Mar, 0 for 3. He did hit the board in one of those efforts, but everyone that plays Del Mar regularly, it definitely is a horse for course angle, in my opinion. I think 8 Rings has had success here. He went through that spout in the middle of his 3-year-old season where things just really didn't go his way. Maybe he's just getting back on track and getting good again. This is a horse that was highly regarded all the time, and I was very impressed with his effort last time. I did not play this horse anywhere. He surprised me. I'm going to key him, and I think you're going to get a great price on a Bob Baffert runner there. And as you mentioned, CZ Rocket. Turning for home, this horse looked done last time, came on flying. He proved he could run with no Lasix, so I think he has to be one to be used here.
CZ Rocket, definitely one to use. He's the defending champion, won the Pat O'Brien last year, and just nipping in that Pat O'Brien. Flagstaff, who's also in this race. So you got that rivalry going. They face each other numerous times. I think that Flagstaff is a runner that is on top of his game right now. You get Joe Bravo, and look like Bravo had a choice with Ginobili, who just won by 10, but decided to go with Flagstaff. I think Flagstaff's going to run well, but it's a really competitive race. How sharp is How Be It right now? I mean, he's only 4 years old, and he looks like those last 2 races were stellar. Momosa is the one, like you said, to watch. He ran a -2 2 races back at Lone Star. I mean, that's fast. He beat the crap out of CZ Rocket that day. So he's going to do as well here. He tried 2 turns here, and it didn't work out, but this is a perfect cutback for Momosa. And Classier, I gave no shot initially, but the more I look at it, man, this one is starting to move up at 12-1. And 8 Rings, what an incredible race last time to beat CZ's Rocket as well. So just a competitive race. I'm leaning towards Flagstaff, but it's a tough race. All right, before we get to the last race, Joe, tell us a little bit more how fans can get a hold of My Racehorse. They go to, I guess, myracehorse.com for more information, or do they make a phone call? What do they have to do?
Yeah, whatever you prefer. I'd recommend getting to myracehorse.com first. You can browse our website from what horses we have available. We have a support number and email on there where you can talk to a bunch of members from our team. It's pretty much a live number, pretty much 24/7. We got a hardworking team. So feel free to reach out. There's an FAQ page that will take you kind of through our whole program. And then if you ever have any questions, I'm usually at Santa Anita or Del Mar on a daily basis of racing. So if you see me, always feel free to flag me down and ask any questions you got.
I have a question about Authentic.
Okay.
What was that ride like? Because there was people who had 1% or whatever, 0.1%, and they were screaming like they own the horse outright. And I've never seen such camaraderie, such love. I mean, everybody who was on Authentic was absolutely going berserk.
Yeah, I think what made it even that much sweeter is, going into the Derby after barely hanging on in the Haskell, everyone doubted him. Everyone doubted that
Yep.
he could get the distance. You got 8-1, and to see that performance, and I'll
Me
say,
too.
yeah, no, trust me, it drew a lot of questions, and I had the luxury of pretty much being out there every morning with Bob, watching him prep that horse at that time, training him at Del Mar due to the Kentucky Derby being run in September. So that horse was getting all his prep works at Del Mar. It was quiet. There was no one there because of the pandemic. So I had the luxury of really watching him train this horse in depth, and just a tip of the cap to Bob. I mean, he couldn't have had this horse more in prime ready, and he definitely laid down the screws, and he made sure that he worked hard going into it. But there was no doubt that horse was going to be ready to get a mile and a quarter for that day, and it was just electric. And we had so many people that even came out to Kentucky to watch at bars, and we had people that threw parties at their house and farms, and everyone got together after. It was pretty special to see.
When my racehorse wins a race, Chappie, there's 677 people in the winner's circle every time.
Yeah, it's amazing. And during that time, those videos that went viral, I mean, everyone around the country sending, and people running out of across the lawn and out of their parties and everything. That was amazing. It was just perfect timing for the situation, everything that happened, right, Joe? I mean, you couldn't have asked for, well, obviously you won the Derby, but it's amazing.
Yeah. But no, and like you said, it just during a time where people needed joy and excitement, it brought that. And I mean, we countless emails, phone calls, or you just run into people that I didn't even know were owners that came up to me and would just be like, I couldn't believe, the ride Authentic took us on. And I'll never forget the day I met with Michael Behrens. This is what he envisioned of my racehorse becoming. And I might have shook my head and laughed at him a little bit, but tipped my cap to him. He stayed persistent, and it's pretty incredible where we stand now.
I think you mentioned it briefly, Chappie, but like the impact that my racehorse has made, we're developing a new section just for my racehorse at Santa Anita.
Yeah, new section, just because there were so many people, as Joe can tell you, they had a suite out here, and it just couldn't hold the number of people that want to come out. So the new My Racehorse Lounge that we will be having, the sky's the limit with the number of people out here. So hopefully we're going to have a great fall, and of course a great summer when you guys have some babies coming in next year and everything. So we're looking forward to it.
Yep.
It's going to be it's really exciting. So I encourage everybody to certainly to get involved with My Racehorse. Go to myracehorse.com or find out more, give them a call, whatever it is you take. There's nothing like ownership. Also want to give a shout out to Greg Colvin, who was just named the CEO of First Content. So congratulations to him. And Joe, I'm a brown noser. I gotta butter up. I'm gonna say, hey, congratulations to the new boss.
I love it. You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
Job security.
Yeah.
But he comes in highly respected. So certainly the future looks bright for the Stronach Group and for First Bet and Santa Anita especially. All right. The Get Out race tomorrow. We need to make money. Joe, forget about all this. I need to make money in race 11 right now. How am I going to get out? Look, I'm already assuming I'm losing. How am I going to get out in race 11?
You want me? You go ahead, Joe. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, well, I know who Chappie is going to pick, I think. So no, I don't. Okay.
No, maybe. Right.
Well, we were actually talking about this trainer earlier, but I'm going to look to number 4 in Carmelita's Man. I think you're going to get a good amount of speed in this race with a few horses stretching out. The horse on the far outside, US Danger, has one way of going. And I'm hoping we can get some pace dynamic in this race. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to insinuate that I think some of these horses stretching out are going to show some good speed. And Carmelita's Man shows up every time. Since he's broken his maiden, he did win the starter allowance twice, but since he's got to this allowance level, he hasn't been able to get through this level. But I have a feeling today's going to be the day. He had a little brief freshening, came back, ran a great second to One Fast Bro, who I thought was ultra live in that spot. And I think this horse is just coming into the race well. Not a huge price, but 3-1 morning line, and I'm hoping he can make my day if I truly need a savior in the last on Saturday.
Georgie, can I give you a story time again real quick?
Oh, we got plenty of time. Go ahead.
So I believe it was the second weekend when that 70-1 won the first leg of the Pick 5, and the Pick 5 paid like $131,000.
Right.
We were there, and I had the 70-1, and then I had the next leg, and then in the third leg, I had 8 of 10 horses, and someone watching can tell you this is the truth. I spoke of the horse who I didn't have the horse. I had 8 of the 10 horses, and I didn't have the winner in the third leg. And I kept talking about that horse, and somehow I flip-flopped and used a different one. So then the next leg was Dr. Schivel. I had Dr. Schivel. So I had Carmelita's Man singled, and I've never rooted harder against a horse. And Carmelita's Man ran second, thank God, because it would have been a $130,000 mistake.
Yeah.
So I've always been in love with Carmelita's Man. I agree with Joe there. Horse, launches from way back, but is very talented and has had some trouble trips in the past. So that's one of 3 horses I'm looking at. The unknown is Zip Now. Zip Now was very impressive first time out. And I don't know if Joe will remember this, but I know Georgie will. The dam Unzip Me was the downhill specialist. She won every race down the hill. Yeah. So, I mean, you would think maybe that, who knows about distance, but being with Tiznow on the top side, I would think this horse could run all day. So I think that's kind of a horse that's a must-use and look very talented first time out. The only other horse I'm thinking about using is, hold on, let me find my notes. Let me put my goggles on here. Trevor T. Trevor T, if you go back, beat or lost to Carmelita's Man by a nose, then beat Cool Your Jets. Then last time out, off of a long break, if you go back and watch the race, was running right along with Carmelita's Man, just got tired. When they got to the top of the stretch, Umberto knew the horse was out of gas, so he just kind of stopped riding. Maybe the horse just needed one after a long, long break. The thing I like about it is that Umberto stays along with this horse. So I think they just gave it one the last time out. And I think that's an interesting long shot that maybe just needed a race last time out. So I'm going to try to get by with those 3 horses in the last leg, and hopefully we'll hit one of these big bomb pick 5s that we've been chasing the entire meet.
Yeah.
I'm going to use 2 runners in the last race, and one of them is one of the favorites, U.S. Danger. I think U.S. Danger last time, Valdivia went nuts and went out there way too fast, just exploding out there by 8 lengths for no apparent reason. And it really cost him the race. He just went out too fast. He comes back, Jonathan Wong. You can't, what is it, Chappie?
Can't go wrong with Wong.
You can't go wrong with Wong, but he tells you white if you use Wong. And now he goes back to Kyle Frey, who knows this one a little bit better, who I don't think is going to get out there and, try to speed off by 8 lengths. And I think, with the exception of number 2, Zip Now, man, if Zip Now was scratched, I would only use U.S. Danger. But I think Zip Now is going to probably give him a little bit of pressure. So let's see how he handles it. But another runner that I think I'm going to use for sure at 8-1 is number 6, I'll Stand Taller. Square Eddies love the grass. I mean, it's just a monumental love for the grass of all these Square Eddies. Never tried the grass, bred for the grass. The lone time he went a mile was pretty good. Signs of the Cross, none above the law. There's no shame in losing to none above the law in the Silky Sullivan. In fact, he had the lead at the top of the stretch there at Golden Gate, and couldn't hold off none above the law. Solid Thorograph numbers, a solid price at 8-1. I know is going to love the grass. And I think that I'll Stand Taller and U.S. Danger are the 2 I'm going to be using. All right, that's pretty much the show. Let's any final words here, Chappie?
Yeah, Joe, thanks for coming on again, and good luck to you in My Racehorse if you have anything going this weekend. Also, reminder: first post today at Del Mar is 3:30, not 4 o'clock. So. Get your pick 5s in early.
Good thing we did our handicapping, or I would have been late to the races.
There you go. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, Georgie.
I didn't know 3:30. So that's a big one. I swear, I've been a little under the weather, but I still have my hand is swollen. Joe, I went to the hospital and I had my blood drawn, and the guy, it took him like 4 or 5, like stabbing away in my veins, and he couldn't get it, and he couldn't get it. Then he finally went to my hand, and he got it. Then I go to the waiting room, and they go, our computers are down. You could either sleep here in the lobby for 8 hours or go home and come back. So I was like, what, are you kidding me? So I went home, I came back. The next day, they go, we got to draw your blood again. I was like, oh, my goodness. So I sit down there. There's 2 girls, and I told her, yesterday they had a tough time. They couldn't find my vein. They couldn't find it. She goes, don't worry about it. Okay, she's a rookie. She just started. Go for it. And if you don't think you can get it, don't do it. And I'll be right here. I won't be if you need. I'm like, what, bro? She attacked my vein 7 times, and the pain. I'm screaming, and finally the other nurse says, "I'll take it from here."
Yeah, I'll take it from here now.
Oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was like
he had his hand all bandaged up yesterday.
Not my favorite trips.
And then I'm sitting there waiting in the emergency room, and I hear one of the guys on the phone. We got a guy who just robbed a bank. He's coming in, and he's dangerous. He might try to escape. I'm like, what? They were all right next to me. 4 cops behind him. I'm like, oh my God.
Holy moly!
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was an adventurous trip.
Sorry about that. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll get some winners this weekend. My racehorse, there's nothing like being an owner. The excitement level is so unbelievable. I encourage everybody to go to myracehorse.com. Have a great day, Chappie and
Thanks,
Joe.
guys.